my heart up when the rest of me is down.
It is Tuesday and I don't have work and I don't have school and I am, procrastinating on my homework assignments, so I'm gonna go to the library. But first, I'm going to talk about Ghost World by Daniel Klaus. I am going to return this to the library because I finished it, so I thought I would do this little impromptu video. Impromptu for me because I didn't know I was going to do it until I sat down right here. Ghost World is essentially about two girls named Enid and... what was the other girl's name? Ghost World is about two young adults named Enid and Becky. They're both graduated from high school already and they're kind of just floating around, not really knowing what they're doing, and it's just kind of like a walkthrough of their day-to-day life. There's no real plot sort of things besides that Enid is thinking about going to college and leaving Becky and leaving this town that they're in, but that is essentially it just kind of flows into this kind of stream of conscious plot line of them just kind of doing what they do. A lot of this was written in kind of the early to mid 90s, so there's a lot of references that I just didn't understand because cultural references and stuff. This is Enid and this is Becky down here. I think for me, Enid felt like she was the main character while Becky felt kind of like this side character. Enid and Becky together have this really kind of crass humor to them, and it's not like I didn't enjoy it, but I just didn't understand it most of the time. The way Becky and Enid talk to each other, it's very, like I said before, crass humor. So they're constantly kind of bickering back and forth, which I think shows kind of a sign that they have gone through a lot together because they are so kind of intimate with the way they talk to each other. They have this relationship that is very tongue-in-cheek, and they don't really care what they say to each other because they know deep down that they're going to be friends after the fact. I'd say that the art style in Ghost World is really fucking beautiful. Everything is super one color, so it's just kind of this really soft, pale green, seafoam green sort of thing going on. And a lot of this graphic novel is set in 9 panels, so every page really has a lot of stuff going on. And for me, there was a lack of continuity because they would switch between scenes in certain issues. You know when an issue ends and when it begins, and then there's just kind of choppiness to it that I didn't understand, or I didn't get why it was happening. I think the beginning of this is really cool. It kind of sets this little backstory. It's a very small backstory. You see kind of Enid's things and then Enid as a little girl. But then you also see Enid when she is older and her mom has died and she's kind of coping with that with Becky. And then you also see them together when they graduated high school, which I think was a really neat thing to do in sort of the opening credits. The other thing that kind of bothered me about this was there was a lot of times when Enid and Becky would be talking about a certain person, and then we would see that person, but we wouldn't see them for maybe a couple panels, and then that was it. It's what was the purpose of this person to be in the graphic novel if they weren't going to have a significance in anything? And that bothered me because it happened multiple times with people, and I was left feeling that I was missing something or I wasn't understanding something the way I should have been. Overall, I ended up giving Ghost World 3 out of 5 stars because I did enjoy the art and I did like the humor at points, and I did enjoy the friendship that was Enid and Becky and their relationship together. I am planning on watching the movie because there is a movie. I hear it is a little bit different, and I know Michelle over at Wizarding World of Books says she really enjoyed the graphic novel because she had seen the movie before. Let me know in the comments if you've read Ghost World and if you kind of thought the same feelings about it as I did. The art in this is 300% great. I really loved everything about it. The cover is very beautiful in general, but it's just sort of the content that was a little bit off-putting, a little bit unrecognizable for me, so maybe others will feel the same, or maybe you have sort of a more understanding of some of the things that happened and that you can tell me about. Anyway, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!